You guys ever go to the movies and order that big bucket of popcorn, the buttery greatness? You go to sit down and then you start eating one piece at a time, and then all of a sudden, before the movie starts, you've already eaten the whole tub of popcorn. Um, that was this chapter of Hunter x Hunter to me. That was this chapter because by the end of it, dude, I could not believe what I had read. I cannot believe that it was over. I cannot believe that I just spent 15 minutes because it felt like that. 2 years of waiting, 2 years of waiting, and last chapter, last week was okay, nothing too crazy, but I couldn't believe it. As soon as we saw the battle arena or the heavens arena, I knew, I was like, yes, yes, because it knew it was something different from the princess. We read a lot about the Prince of Kaken and the whole thing. It was going to be happening, but once we saw the heavens arena, I knew it was going to be about something else. I thought maybe Killua. I was hoping Killua. I would have never guessed. I would have never in a million years guessed that we're getting Chrollo versus Hisoka. And this is what I read shonen for. This chapter right here is what I read shonen for. You guys, growing up, I'm sure you guys were like just like me, where I was a big fan of Dragon Ball Z. I loved power ups and the moves and everything. But as you grow up, you want more. You start wanting more out of these types of shows. You want more complicated fights, detailed explanations, logical battles that involve tactics and skill, that aren't just about who can hit the other person the most or with the strongest ability. It's about using your instinct and your tactics as a fighter to outskill the other opponent. And Hunter x Hunter delivers that more than any other series that I've read so far. That's why I love it. In this chapter, there's so much I can talk about. There's so much to talk about in this chapter. This wasn't gonna be a review. This was gonna be like a quick, like 1 minute reaction to it. But screw it, guys. Screw it. So, all right. So, where should I start? Let's start with this. Let's start with this. So right off the bat, you have the referee, and the referee, um, as soon as I saw him, like you don't stand between Chrollo and Hisoka. You don't stand between them because you know you're gonna get screwed. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. It's that simple. So as soon as I saw him, like I was like, dude, this guy is gonna die. This guy, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's like, just say, he's just like, oh, whatever. Like have an honorable match. I'm like, no, get out of there, man. And right off the bat, Chrollo starts off with probably one of his most dangerous, if not his most dangerous technique. And this was a huge shock. I mean, if you're a Hunter x Hunter fan, you know what's the shock. It's because it's the power of one of the other Phantom Troop members. So does that mean that Chrollo now has all the Phantom Troop powers? Does that mean that he stole them? Because if you remember, according to him, if he steals a power, then he steals it like from the other person, so the person can't use it. So are all of the other Phantom Troop members all of a sudden now without their powers? Did they lend them to him for the fight? Who knows, man? Who knows? Can he ever give him back? Is that guy dead now? Who knows? I don't think so. I think the power leaves if the guy dies. So he uses I forget what it's called, black something, and right off the bat starts off with his strongest attack. Starts off by killing the referee pretty much. I mean, at that point he's dead. He's gonna be dead. Yeah, it's obvious. So Hisoka goes in and he immediately recognizes the reason that that Chrollo had been running away is not because he thinks that it's not worth his time fighting Hisoka, but he knows that in order to fight Hisoka, he's gonna need to gather a new group of abilities or just a large quantity of abilities to take him out because he knows that Hisoka is going to be a very, very strong opponent, which is really weird because Hisoka only has the bungee, right? But that's his Nen. But I don't know if he has any other abilities or anything up his sleeve. We'll find out soon enough, I guess. But man, dude, there's so much to talk about. So the whole thing with running away was really cool. So Hisoka, he's getting attacked, and he all of a sudden he decides to actually go back and do a counterattack. He knows that if he gets hit with that Chrollo's attack, it's all over. And he realized that the reason Chrollo's going out with his best attack right off the bat is because he's trying. It's a mixture of toying with the opponent as well. But he is aiming to win. So, Hisoka's kind of mad. He's like, "You can't do this to me, man." And so he goes out and attacks the puppet. He actually gets he sort of gets blindsided a bit by Chrollo. I forgot to mention that, which showed me right there that Chrollo is actually, he knows what he's doing. I mean, obviously he took on the two Zoldycks back during the Yorkshire arc, but I was thinking that Hisoka would actually be more. Not get fooled right off the bat as well, but he got blindsided, got hit by the kicks, when he thought he was gonna get hit by the needle. He knows if he gets hit with the needle, it's all over. He's dead, so he can't get hit with it. So he goes ahead and starts off by taking out the dummy. And I love the detailed explanations, Hisoka, and the thought process, because the whole point of fighting and showcasing these dialogues, these inner monologues, is to see how the characters adapt to the fighting. So Hisoka's out wondering, okay, well, does he have a second needle or what, or the second controller? I mean, what if one controller can control two needles? And so he's going through all this, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is perfect. You know, I love this is why I love Hunter x Hunter, and so. So what happens is that he ends up taking out the puppet, which again I knew from the first panel we saw him that he's gonna die. There's no way he's not gonna die. And then what ends up happening is that there's a blood. The blood starts coming out, and Hisoka like, whoa, something's wrong. And so most people there would have just died due to the explosion of what I'm about to talk about. But Hisoka, you know, obviously being smart, he ends up bungee jumping away. And avoiding the explosion, which Chrollo eventually ends up showing is sun and moon, man, sun and moon. You know, I don't know if he got, you know, if he's inspired by Pokemon coming out soon, but these are the types of abilities that I love. I mean, when dude, these are crazy abilities, and anyways, so sun and moon, and he said he got it from Meteor City. So immediately I was thinking the rose, but I don't think so because the rose, you know, has radiation properties. So I think it's not a rose, but maybe it's just some other sort of huge explosion. If he if he does it for an instant, it does that little explosion. If he does it for I think 3 to 4 seconds, it'll do a huge explosion that would actually take out everyone in the Heavens Arena. So Chrollo is. I assume it would take him out as well. That's why he's not doing it. But who knows? Maybe. I mean, I assume it would, unless he has some sort of an ability that will prevent him from taking explosions or you know blocking stuff from him. He can use 2 at a time, which I guess it goes into my next point. So he reveals double face, and this again was a really cool thing because remember back, his limitation was that he had to have the book open and flip to a certain page to use that ability. But now not only can he use 2 abilities at the same time, which is the whole point of double face. But now it's also a bookmark, so you can fight with the book closed, and he can do a lot of really cool techniques. And it's due to the sun and moon attacks like that require 2 hands, or just the fact that he wants to have 2 hands ready to fight. That double face will come in handy. So that's 3 moves already that he's shown right off the bat. One of them taken from the other members of the Phantom Troup. One of them taken from Meteor City, a huge explosion. I don't know what kind of, I don't know who had that power. I don't know who had it. Maybe he got it from Gyro. Maybe he got it from Gyro. I don't know. Potentially. And then the third one is I don't know if he had it, or I assume that it comes with the book, or maybe no. I think he said that he had to alter the way he did it. So I think that's something that he made up on his own, but I'm not entirely sure. And so he uses the double face and explains all this, and it's like, oh my god, the way the chapter ended, man, I couldn't believe it. Like the fact that he pulled out a 4th move. So now I think he had Sun and Moon plus like I don't know, something that we don't know yet. We don't know. It says we'll find out soon enough. So he pulled out a 4th move, and the fact that he says that he's going to use 3 more moves after that, that's a total of 7 moves against Hisoka. I mean, here he said that he's never taken this many moves to kill someone. Obviously, Hisoka is one of the strongest guys in the Hunter x Hunter universe, or at least from the world that we've seen. Do I think either of them are going to die? There's no way they're going to die. I mean, Hisoka has to take on Gon still. There's no way that's not going to happen. Potentially, my Gon is going to be a villain. Theory could be alive, because at this point, think about it. We're seeing the fight through the eyes of Hisoka, which is really weird, right? None of the good guys are involved. So, but that's a topic for a different video. Also, I don't think Chrollo's going to die, because I just don't see him dying. He has so many abilities. Togashi has that's a perfect character for Togashi to play around with. I mean, we have Kakashi and Naruto, but he's supposedly had like 100 or 1,000 jutsus, but he never really showcased many of them. But Chrollo here, he's going to showcase 7 the first time we see him. Well, technically it's not the first time we see him fight, but it's one of the first times we've seen him fight for real. So, I mean, this is so crazy. I guess the last thing to point out is that you know, what are my potential speculations as to what his last 3 moves could be that he's going to use? I don't know. But if he's going to kill Hisoka, I actually think that Hisoka has to have something up his sleeve, because there's no way that he's taking on 3 more attacks, or I guess 4 more attacks if you include this one, unless the translation's messed up. We'll have to wait for the official release on Monday. But yeah, I don't know. Hisoka has to have something else. I mean, I just don't see Bungie doing anything particular doing any kind of damage to him. Like I think he has to have something that he hasn't that's been saving for potentially either well probably for Chrollo because we know he's been chasing Chrollo. He has to have some move that he's been saving. So overall, man, I can't believe it, man. I cannot believe it. Last chapter, like I said, last week we had a chapter which just really, I was like, a lot of fodder came back, a lot of text. We got some cool stuff about the prince, but overall, like Kurapika, just got outsmarted. I mean, Kurapika's just not. I mean, he's better out. Like, I can't wait to see him fight, but as smart as they make him seem, like he's not. I don't know. He seems to get outsmarted a lot, but this week, man, dude. Can you guys believe? Can you guys believe that they did this already? Anyways, guys, wow. Uh, uh, One Piece chapter was okay. I'll probably do a Discord discussion on it later today. But Hunter x Hunter, man, like, this is what I read Shonen for. This is what I mean. I don't know. One Piece will always be my favorite, but Hunter x Hunter, the quality of it, man, you just can't deny it. So, with that said, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, peace.